Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Sunday the 29th of January 2017 and we're providing our gold and silver weekly update for the week ending the 27th of January. Firstly, we wish to apologise to all of our listeners as we were without both broadband and our computer system for most of the week, which is why no videos were produced. In addition, we have had to change our web designer for the Inner Sanctum, which has caused some considerable time allocation and has slightly delayed our launch, which we shall apprise you of in another video. Also, we want the Inner Sanctum to be a very worthwhile experience for you, and we want it just right. So please be a little patient with us, as we feel it will be well worth the wait. Meanwhile, gold fell in US dollar terms last week by $18, from $1,209 to $1,191, having hit a high of $1,219 and a low of $1,180. In sterling terms, gold finished the week at £949, that's down £28. And in euros, it closed at €1,113, that's down €13 on the week. Silver rose by 7 cents, from $17.07 to $17.14, having reached a high of $17.29 and a low of $16.64. In sterling terms, it closed at £13.66, that's down 14 pence for the week, and in euros it closed at 16.02 euros, that's up 0.08 euros. The gold to silver ratio fell from 70.82 to 1 to 69.49 to 1. The Dow Jones closed on Friday at 20,093, down 7 points on the day and up 266 points on the week. And the Nasdaq closed at 5,660, up 5 points on the day and up 105 points on the week. Brent crude was up just 3 cents at $55.52, and US light crude was down just 5 cents at $53.17. The dollar index stands at 100.53, that's down 0.21 on the week. Last week we stated that precious metal prices would fluctuate, but would likely end up down at the end of the week. This was certainly the case with gold. However, silver held its own by a sharp rise on Friday, wiping out the week's losses. Gold futures posted the longest streak of losses since November, as buying from China stopped ahead of its week-long holiday to celebrate the Lunar New Year. The metal paired earlier losses Friday, which were caused originally by the Dow exceeding 20,000, after reports showed US economic growth slowed more than forecast last quarter, on the biggest drag from trade in 6 years and more moderate consumer spending. Interestingly, volatility measured by the VIX or VIX index dived to levels unseen in more than 2 years, and the S&P 500 index climbed to fresh records. The number of bearish bets changing hands relative to bullish ones has fallen to the lowest level since 2009, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. US gross domestic product grew an annualized 1.9% during the fourth quarter of 2016. This was below the 2.1% forecast. Durable goods fell 0.4%, well below the 2.7% estimate, but better than the minus 4.5% reported last month. Both reports raise questions about the Fed's ability to raise interest rates without negatively affecting the economy. The situation vis-à-vis Trump's desire to have a weaker dollar to help exports and the Fed's desire to raise interest rates is making predictions for gold and silver prices particularly difficult. We may even witness a falling dollar but a higher interest rate scenario, with gold actually falling as opposed to rising against dollar weakness. The silver markets broke out during the day on Friday by some 40 cents, but ran into quite a bit of resistance above the $17 level. Technical analysts believe that should prices rise above $17.30, then silver markets could go much higher. Alternately, if we break down below the $16.50 level, silver markets could drop significantly from that level. Either way, it's going to be a very volatile market. Commentators have now begun to quote what we have said for a long time. Trump's tweets have an influence on market direction. His conflicting tweets versus public announcements confuse these markets, and therefore the uncertainty causes a higher degree of volatility. It is still our contention, at least for now, that gold markets will remain subdued, and the silver market will perform better than gold short term. However, both could do well if President Trump achieves creating a trade war with China or Mexico, or threatens to take Iraq's oil, as is currently mooted. This next week will be directed by what happens when markets open tomorrow. We are continuing to sit on our hands, but as far as silver is concerned, any weakness in price may provide a small buying opportunity. All eyes will be on Friday's non-farm payroll report and any further legislative plans announced by President Trump. We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumb up and share it on Twitter. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe as a free member for regular email updates and offers. Our Facebook page, which is updated daily, can be found at facebook.com/illuminatisilver. Disclaimer. Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.